The digital landscape of March 2026 was permanently altered in the early hours of a quiet Tuesday when a notification from Weverse sent shockwaves through a global fandom that thought it had seen everything. Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS, appeared in a live broadcast that was a haunting departure from the meticulously curated, high-definition perfection the world has come to expect from Hybe and its subsidiary BigHit Music. In a scene that felt more like a private confession than a global broadcast, Jungkook appeared visibly intoxicated, his eyes heavy with a decade's worth of exhaustion as he dismantled the idol persona in real time. This wasn't just a celebrity having too much to drink. It was a human being reaching a visible breaking point under the crushing weight of a global microscope. As the broadcast progressed, the casual atmosphere shifted into something far more visceral. Jungkook began to speak on personal battles that have long been whispered about but never confirmed with such raw intensity. He discussed the grueling, often invisible struggle of quitting smoking, a habit often stigmatized in the K-pop industry, and the immense mental toll of trying to reclaim his health while being watched by millions. But the most chilling moment came when the conversation turned to his personal safety. With a level of blunt honesty that silenced the comment section, Jungkook addressed receiving persistent death threats, a dark reality of modern fame that BTS has navigated for years but rarely addressed with such unfiltered vulnerability. This broadcast has since ignited a firestorm of discussion across X, formerly Twitter, and TikTok, moving far beyond the typical scandal narrative. Instead of the usual backlash, the army has mobilized into a massive support network, transforming the viral clips into a global call for better mental health protections for artists. The industry is currently facing a reckoning in 2026. The perfection model is failing, and Jungkook's broadcast is the ultimate proof that the person behind the performer is crying out for autonomy. He spoke of the isolation that comes with being at the top of the world, the fear that lingers after the stage lights go down, and the simple desire to be an adult who can make mistakes without them being labeled as a professional failure. While critics may point to his state of intoxication to dismiss his words, the fans see through the haze to a man who is fighting for his life and his peace. This moment parallels the larger 2026 trend of stars like Faye Pariah and Yoko Apazra breaking away from restrictive studio systems to find their own voices. Jungkook's live was a manifesto of the human spirit, a messy, painful, and ultimately necessary declaration that even the most golden among us can break. As Hybe remains under intense pressure to release a formal statement regarding the security threats mentioned in the live, the narrative continues to evolve from one of concern to one of active advocacy. The world is no longer just watching a pop star. It is witnessing a 28-year-old man reclaim his right to be seen as he is, flawed, struggling, and fiercely real. This broadcast marks the end of the untouchable idol era and the beginning of a much-needed conversation about the cost of our entertainment. Jungkook didn't just go live to talk. He went live to survive, and in doing so, he has forced the entire music industry to look in the mirror and ask what price we are truly willing to pay for a hit song. The silence from the BigHit headquarters is deafening, but the roar of the fandom is louder, demanding that 2026 be the year where mental health finally becomes a non-negotiable priority for every artist under their wing. The psychological weight of these death threats cannot be understated. In an industry where satiating fans and anti-fans utilize increasingly sophisticated digital tools to harass artists, the revelation that a global icon like Jungkook feels physically unsafe in his own private moments is a staggering indictment of the current security protocols. Fans on platforms like Reddit have begun deep diving into the timeline of these threats, linking them to several high-profile stalking incidents reported earlier in the year. The intoxication scene in the broadcast is now being re-evaluated by the public not as a lack of discipline, but as a coping mechanism for a man living under a constant state of siege. Jungkook's admission regarding his struggle with smoking further humanizes him, stripping away the artificial, clean image that K-pop labels often force upon their talent. In 2026, the audience's appetite for authenticity has surpassed their desire for manufactured perfection. This shift is why the viral nature of this clip is leaning so heavily toward support rather than condemnation. The hashtag Protect Jungkook has trended for over 72 hours, with fans tagging BigHit Music to demand immediate legal action against those making threats. Furthermore, this incident highlights the growing divide between the idol and the individual. For years, the industry has operated on the parasocial model, where fans feel a sense of ownership over the artist's life. Jungkook's unfiltered broadcast effectively shatters that mirror. By appearing in a state that the industry would normally consider shameful, he is reclaiming his humanity. He is saying, "I am not your product. I am a person who is hurting." This sentiment resonates deeply with a generation of fans who are also struggling with their own mental health and societal pressures. The broadcast serves as a mirror to the collective burnout of the mid-2020s. As analysts look back at the cultural impact of 2026, this specific Tuesday morning will be cited as the day the industry's glass ceiling finally shattered. The golden magne has grown up, and he is choosing to use his platform to show the scars that come with being the most famous man on the planet. The technical nature of the broadcast itself, grainy, late night, and direct-to-fan, adds to its power. It bypasses the traditional PR filters of Hybe, reaching the audience in its purest, most volatile form. This is the new frontier of celebrity communication in 2026. Stars are no longer waiting for press releases. They're going live to set the record straight, even when it's painful to watch. The death threats mentioned are not just words on a screen. They're a direct assault on the artist's peace of mind, and by vocalizing them, Jungkook has brought them into the light where they can no longer be ignored by the label. The breaking point isn't just about Jungkook, it's about the entire ecosystem of global pop stardom. As the days pass and the clip continues to accumulate millions of views, the pressure on BigHit Music to provide a transparent security update grows. The fans are no longer content with monitoring the situation. In the final minutes of that viral live, as the screen went dark, a profound silence settled over the internet. It was the sound of millions of people realizing that the golden life is often a heavy burden. Jungkook's bravery in showing his weakest moment may ultimately be his greatest contribution to the industry. By being brave enough to break in front of us, he is teaching a whole new generation that it is okay not to be okay. The story of March 2026 isn't a story of a scandal. It's a story of a rescue mission led by the fans to save the man who has spent a decade saving them with his music. The era of the unreachable idol is dead. Long live the human artist.